One of the refrains in Genesis that's really quite difficult to understand is how Abraham is so willing to play up his wife's being his half sister. And he goes to different places and he's worried that people are going to attack him in order to get at his beautiful wife. And so he asks her to say, well, I'm his sister, and this whole charade is played out. I want to put aside a lot of the weirdness to that story and the misogyny, and we'll just understand there's some weird stuff going on. What I wanted to focus on this morning is simply this. He's telling himself a story about a group of people, and then he's acting in a self-defeating way in order to avoid what he perceives as a greater potential defeat because of the story he's telling himself about another group of people. A story that they are so violent, a story that they are so lustful, so debauched, so depraved, that they would attack a man in order to get to his wife, and then, of course, attack the wife. That may or may not have actually been true. The Bible's not very clear about that. What's clear, actually, is that when people discover that she's married to him, they seek to make restitution, to make things right between them and Abraham. They don't want to come between the covenantal marriage. But the interesting element, really, is the notion of telling ourselves a story about another group of people, why they do what they do, and how it's a threat to us. When we tell ourselves a story without investigating, without listening, without relationship, without conversation, we create caricatures. And we really just project outwards some of our own deep fears. I'm thinking about that today. I know there's a lot on people's minds. The American election that happened yesterday is not yet resolved, and there's much talk of one group and another group. There's much talk of why one person or one group of people does things that they do, acts the way they do, believes what they do, says what they say, and the same for the other group. I can't help but wonder what role Christians have in listening, in investigating, and where we can learn right from the very beginning of the Bible when we see what we can learn about failure to do this, failure to seek to understand each other truly, and then to, instead of walk in fear, walk in confidence.